Hello, everyone. We are Marta and Ina from Keys2Success-Coaching, and welcome to another episode of Exploring Female Leadership. In each episode, we bring you the real, unfiltered journey of women who are reshaping leadership with authenticity, courage, and heart.
Thank you so much. And we're so excited. We are thrilled to introduce you to Kelly Hendricks, a female entrepreneur and community builder and the owner of 4 Pilates studios. Kelly made a bold move and a bold leap from a successful career in tech, working in companies such as Spectralink and Polycom, into the world of fitness and wellness. And where she's now building thriving, purpose-driven businesses based on empowerment, growth, and connection. Welcome, Kelly.
Thank you.
Lovely to have you here.
Thank you.
Awesome. So for everyone, Kelly's story is all about betting on yourself, redefining success, and leading with empathy. And we can't wait to hear from you. So let's kick it off. Kelly, you've mentioned that clear is kind is one of your leadership mottos. So if we're thinking about the fast-paced world we're living in today, how can leaders balance clarity with the crucial element of empathy?
It's all about balance, right? And one of the kindest things that you can do is just be clear with your team. Clear by setting expectations for them, showing them where they can grow and what's maybe essential versus maybe what's just a nice to have within their roles. But that clarity doesn't have to be harsh, right? That's where the empathy part comes in. And it's all about getting to know your team, understanding their frame of reference, as well as meeting them where they are. An example from something we did somewhere recently was we needed to hit a membership goal. So we called it the Road to 300, right? And our team got really excited. We made the expectation really clear about what the numbers needed to look like and created motivation and excitement around it instead of using fear of we have to do this, right? Leadership is about seeing and supporting people as they grow toward a shared goal. And then, of course, celebrating their wins along the way.
Oh, very powerful.
Thank you, Kelly. Building and scaling multiple studios takes an amount of leadership and also a willingness to learn and to grow yourself along the way. I would like to now dive into that side of the journey. You've built multiple studios from scratch and grown teams along the way. What has delegation taught you about leadership, and how has your approach evolved as your business scaled?
I'm naturally a doer. I love checklists. I love getting things done. So in the early days of building the studios, I carried a lot on my shoulders. But I quickly realized that if I want my team and myself to grow, I had to let go, which is hard. Delegation, though, isn't about just being efficient. It's a leadership strategy, and it's how you create space for others to step up and build confidence so they can discover strengths that they didn't even know that they had. I reframed delegation more as empowerment and opportunity. And I tell my team, don't be afraid to teach someone else your job. It's not a threat to your job. It's how we all rise and grow together. Whether you're running a Pilates studio or leading a team in the tech industry, intentional leadership is about building a culture where people feel trusted, where they feel supported, and they're in a safe space to grow. When you do that, you don't just build a team, you build a community, right? Like a family. And there's nothing more rewarding than growing together. So it's just one of the coolest things. And one of the mindset shifts that's helped me was reframing delegation, right? Don't be afraid, again, to teach someone your job. And as women, we need to lift each other up and not compete, right? We are all here to support each other. So you want your team to eventually manage themselves, right, on their own. And when they do that, it creates space for you to grow, for me to grow, for us all to grow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love how you frame delegation as empowerment. It's such a powerful shift indeed. Now, building a little bit on that, you've mentioned earlier the idea of mind shift. I would love to hear more about that. How do you intentionally create space where your team feels safe and motivated to grow?
Well, mindset's everything. It's one of the biggest shifts for me was changing my own personal language to I have to I get to. I get to build a team, I get to open new studios, and I get to solve problems on the daily alongside incredible people. That small shift changed everything. It turned pressure more into a purpose. And another big mindset shift is related to failure. look at failures as stepping stones and not a roadblock. We all will fail, whether we like it or not, right? We'll fail in how we show up that day. We'll fail in how we lead. We'll fail achieving a deadline. But we need to be excited that we're offered the opportunity to fail. Failure is growth. And when we fail, we can stay down or we can get back up and keep being willing to learn. We wouldn't be opening up a fourth studio if it wasn't for our current leadership team that hadn't been wanting and willing to learn, to keep learning and to take on new challenges. And for us to all trust each other to be able to fail and grow together is really, really cool. And when I leave from that place, I think the team feels trusted and seen and safe to grow. And empowerment it's how we show up, and the mindset will set that tone.
Yeah, love the focus on empowerment here. So let's talk a bit about your career journey. So as mentioned in the introduction, you made a very bold career transition from a very safe and successful corporate job to become a business owner in a completely different industry, right? And I assume many women are considering similar shifts, leaps in their career, and stuff like fear and doubt and timing it into their way. What would you recommend to these women?
To be brave. And even when they call you crazy, follow your dreams anyways. First, know that it is not going to be easy. Tell yourself that, like, before you even get going, because it's not supposed to be easy. I doubted myself constantly. I still doubt myself. But when I look in the mirror, I just have to remind myself that I'm strong, I'm courageous, and I'm willing to bet on myself, even when it feels crazy. When I made that career shift, I had 3 kids, 5 and under. I had just lost my mom, who I was a full-time caregiver to, and I was exhausted. But there's never a perfect time to make a change. If you feel called to it, honor it and follow it and see where it will take you. You don't know until you try. And the best advice is to hire people who are smarter than you. I was reading a Pilates for Dummies book as we were opening, like as we were building out the studio, reading that book, and people were like, "You don't even know anything about Pilates?" I'm learning. Resilience is your superpower, and you don't have to know all the answers. You just have to be open to figuring it out along the way.
Wow, yeah. Resilience is your superpower. That's a very good motto as well. So how do you balance it all? Like 3 kids, I assume older, above 5 now. What are your tricks?
Well, every day is going to look different. Not every day is going to be perfect, but I get to work a job where I get to decide if I work at 5 a.m. or 10 p.m. and I get to eat breakfast with my kids or, eat dinner with them or coach their sports. There's days where I feel like I rocked today. I did so good personally and so good, professionally. And there's other days where I feel like I failed at everything. But it's all about stepping back, look at the big picture over the weeks, the months, and the years. And did I, on average, achieve balance, right? Because every day will look different, which is also what's exciting about it as well.
Kelly, your career and leadership journey is so impressive and has so many different valuable lessons, not just for women, but for leaders at every level. Looking ahead, what's one piece of advice you would offer to someone for building a more inclusive and supportive environment?
Great question. To be kind, to be empathetic, and to be clear. Right now, I'm loving a book called The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. And it's all about letting go of trying to control or dictate others and instead focusing on what you can do with that as far as inspiring your team with your own actions and leadership skills. So let them think what they think and be who they are. You don't have the power to change their thinking or their actions, but let them learn, let them fail safely, and let them be who they are. And on the other hand, let me focus on my own response and action. I can't control my team. I can't control my boss, but I can lead by example and influence others positively by leading authentically. People hopefully will want to come with you, right? And then this is my favorite part, the let us work together to change the world, your local community. Teamwork is so, so important. We all have strengths, and utilizing your team's individual strengths is what will set your team, your company apart from others. A quote that I love so very much from Helen Keller is, "Alone we can do so little, and together we can do so much," is something that I like to.
I completely agree, Kelly. Teamwork is such an important aspect of it. Together, we can indeed do so much more than alone. That's such an important perspective. Thanks again for sharing. And we could continue this conversation for a while, but unfortunately, it needs to come to an end. So, to wrap things up, I would like to ask you a last question. If there is one thing you hope women take away from your story and leadership journey, what would that be?
Don't wait for opportunities. Go and create them yourself. If and when you decide to make the career change, whether it's a new position, a promotion, or a completely new career like I did, don't be afraid of the judgment that will take place, right? Tell yourself there will be judgment, because when you step into leadership, when you take on a small move, a big move, people are going to judge you either way, and let their judgment fuel you. I was judged by everybody, family, friends, people that we were hiring, but that put a fire under me to learn, to grow, and be the best that I can be. And yes, that best included many failures along the way, but judgment is scary, and I still struggle dealing with it. I've been a leader for 10 years now, and I still won't even consider myself a leader, as I just know personally I have a lot of room for growth in that area and many areas. But all I can continue to keep doing is be myself and be authentic, have fun along the way, cheer people on along the way, and hopefully people will want to be on the same team as me. Change is scary. Judgment's scary, but you can grow and use judgment to fuel yourself and fuel the community that you're going to change along the way. Leadership is not about being perfect. It's about knowing that you don't know it all and showing up to learn, to fail, to work hard, to be brave, and have fun along the way. Let you be the best you that you can be, and give yourself the opportunities to grow with a team who inspire you to be the best that you can be.
That's very inspiring. Kelly, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. Your story really reminds us that leadership isn't about having it all figured out, right? It's about being brave enough to take the lead and resilient enough to go through the messy pieces and grounded enough to lead from a place of authenticity. So thank you so much. That was very, very inspiring. And to everyone out there listening, listen to Kelly, let the judgment you face fuel you, embrace the imperfect days, right? And keep betting on yourself, because change doesn't just happen. You have to drive it. Thank you so much, Kelly. It's such a pleasure having you today.
Such a pleasure being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah, and well, we'll be introducing a new leader every month. So stay tuned and subscribe and join us on our LinkedIn channel, on our website. And yeah, we cannot wait to bring you more inspiring stories such as Kelly's. And let's stay tuned and let's stay courageous.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.